Alrighty, we are recording again. Here is another Friday Pilates practice. Take whenever you can, and we'll go ahead and get started. We'll begin lying on our back, as we always do. Let's go ahead and find that space. Knees bent and feet grounded to the floor. Arms stretched down long, pulled out slightly away from the sides, and palms turned up. Feel your shoulders actively roll open and lightly press them to into the floor, the backs of them, to feel this broadening across your chest. Let the crown of your head pull to the back of your workspace, lengthening your cervical spine and bringing your chin to its neutral space, fist distance from chest. With your pelvis here, we're going to do a little rocking, tipping and tilting. Let's tip the pelvis forward, feel your lower back arch off the ground. And then tilt your pelvis back so the small of your back presses to the floor and now your tailbone curls and peels up. Let's do that again. Tip forward and tilt back. Let's do that one more. Soft rocking forward. Rock back with the pelvis. And then find the sweet spot in between, neutrality. From here, close the eyes, bring the focus inward. Take a nice inhale through your nose. Softly purse lips. Let a steady stream of air release out. Again, a slow, deep inhale. Long, steady exhale. Make sure you empty out completely, down to the very bottom. Forcing you to really start to squeeze it out and engage the muscles. Breath in pulls from the pit of your belly into the ribs, all the way up into the chest. As you exhale, empty from top of chest, down through ribs, finally squeezing that last bit out through the lower belly region. Expanding your ribs on an inhale as you fill up your lungs. Force the breath out, exhale. And knit your ribs back to midline. Light, easy breath in allows the belly to rise and the core muscles to stay relaxed. With a forceful breath out, those muscles begin to engage, right? So feel that firming up of the core, contraction, and your navel drawing towards spine. So I'd like you just to stay here for the next few moments with that breath. This is not our typical day-to-day breathing. So we have to train our bodies to breathe in such a manner. Build up the relationship between the breath and core and see if you can pull your abs in deeper each time that you breathe out. Take 3 more cycles of breath. Focused on subtle movement and sensation, muscle activity, and keeping yourself present, mindful, and focused. When you get to that 3rd round of breath, as you're exhaling, the belly is firming, use the strength of your powerhouse to lift your feet off the ground and slowly pull the knees to your chest. Then place your hands on your knees. From here, we rock side to side. Start with a little bit of movement to link with our breath. So make sure that you move along with the tempo of your inhale and exhale. And we're just massaging out our back. From side to side, you'll then start to create a circular motion with your legs, both of which will move in the same direction to start, massaging and rolling out the backs of your hips just above the tailbone. And you'll pause and reverse the direction. Big breaths in, long breaths out. And then begin to bring the legs into still, nicely centered. So we're gonna keep our hands on our knees. We're gonna work into, sorry guys, my words aren't coming together. We'll work on hip mobility. So really focusing on opening up into the hip joints. So have a nice good grip with your hands on your knees. When you breathe in, separate your legs, open them out as wide as they can. Keep your feet nicely relaxed. Then as you exhale, using your hands and arm strength, hug your legs up and in closer to your side bodies. Then when you breathe in, release the hug, but not the contact of your knees. Just kind of let the legs gently fall forward. When you exhale, use the hands now to close the legs back together again. We'll do that a few more times. So breathing in, separate legs and open as wide as you can. Then keep there, exhale, use your arm strength to hug the legs in closer to your body. Think thighs pulling up to your armpits. Then you're going to gently release the hug, but not the contact, right? Not the hold. And then on your exhale, hands, draw the legs together again. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, we open. Exhale, we hug in, we hug up. We let that hug release when we inhale. Then we bring the legs together again. Exhale. The legs should be nicely relaxed along for the ride. Let's do 1 more. Arms do work. Open on an inhale. Curl up and in. Exhale. Release the hug when you breathe in. Bring the legs together when you breathe out. Once you have, keep the legs in, arms out to T. Palms are still faced up. Backs of arms, backs of shoulders, and shoulder blades pressed in firm to the ground to help stabilize you. Take a breath in here. Firmed belly, exhale, lower your legs to the right while looking over left shoulder. Breathe in. Now on your exhale, use your core strength to transition yourself to the other side. Legs lift and lower to the left as you look over the right shoulder. Then you'll hold the twist, breathe in. Again, use your core to pull up and over to the other side. Exhale. Then land and hold, breathe in. Firmed up belly and transition once again. Let's do 1 more to each side. We're using our core strength to protect our lower back in this space while we move from side to side. Breathe in. 1 more to each. Right, moving with your breath. Inhale. Last one here, tight core, exhale. Let's lift the legs up and over to the right, looking over left shoulder. Breathe into the space here. Exhale, firmed core. Lift now just the legs through center and head through center. Once you're here, take the arms close beside you and gently return both feet to the earth. Make sure the knees and feet are back to hip width apart. Shoulder mobility next. Inhaling, the arms reach up to the sky, then they reach behind overhead. Seal the ribs in and imprint your spine. Exhale, open the arms out wide and sweep them back down alongside you. Again, lift up and overhead. Core should be firming and engaging here. Exhale, circle out and down. We'll do 2 more. Inhale, the movement stems from your shoulder joint, so feel that within your body. Also the back side, your shoulder blades, feel them kind of rise up towards your neck when the arms reach behind, and then feel the shoulder blades start to pull down towards tailbone as the arms lower beside, and once the arms are here, just let them relax. Next, we'll take the right leg, cross it over left leg, so thigh over thigh, no space between. Start to pull the knees towards your chest. Then with hands, hold on to each leg as far down as you can hold without your shoulders pulling up to your ears. From there, with a nice good grip, gently pull back equally on both legs, and then reroute the tailbone to the floor. Feet can stay relaxed and low, or they can flex and begin to lift towards the sky. That'll just offer a different sensation to the stretch in your right hip. Breathe into that space. Let's take 1 more breath in. On your exhale, let that stretch release and lift both legs to the sky with pointed toes. Hold the back of your right leg with both hands, either above or below the knee, not directly behind. Anchor your tailbone back to the floor. Press the back of your leg into your hands so that leg is nice and long, stiff and firm. Take an inhale. When you exhale, you're going to gently pull the right leg in closer as your left leg begins to lower. The leg may lower completely if that's available, or any portion that you can to maintain length of your right leg. Then bring the legs back together, breathing in. So we're lifting the left leg and we're releasing the pull back of the right. We'll do that again. Exhale, Left leg begins to lower and right leg draws in. Bring them back together on an inhale. Let's do 2 more of these, stretching out that hamstring on the right side. Good. Bring them together on an inhale. For this last one, let's go ahead and pull the right leg in. Now your left leg either is going to come all the way to the floor, or if you find that doesn't work for your body, bend the knee and take the foot to the ground, just so that your left side is anchored while we move into some extra added stretching here. Holding the hamstring in this space, flex your right foot, drive your heel to the sky, and then point your toes. So my feet are cut off a little bit here. So we push up through the heel to add in a stretch to your calf. Then point the toes, getting into shin and top of foot. And we'll do that one more time, heel to sky. Point the toes and then keep the toes pointed. Hands release, arms beside, and then the right leg has to pull forward out in front of you a bit so the knee stacks above the hip. If your left leg was fully extended, you may decide to keep it there. If you're finding you're needing extra support, go ahead, bend the knee, ground the foot. Core exercise. Right leg with toes pointed, begin to lower that leg downward towards the floor. Then on your breath out, pull the belly in firm and slowly bring the leg back up to starting point. Do not pull it in too close. Again, lower down with resistance and with length. Reach forward through your toes. Exhale, pull the belly in deep and lift the leg up slowly. Let's do that once more. Inhale, finding length. And then as if your leg were fighting against current. Exhale, same sensation on the way up. Once you've stacked, bend your knee, take your foot to the ground. If your left leg were extended long, go ahead and do the same on that side. Let's do all of that with our left leg crossing over right. Knees pulled to body, hold on to the legs where you can with your hands. Pull back equally on those legs, bringing them closer to body, but then drop the tailbone down, which will pull them a little bit away. Again, the feet can stay relaxed and low or flexed and lifted, your choice. Focus on and breathe into, though, that left hip, really understanding what's happening sensation-wise within your body. Good, let's take one more breath in here. When you exhale, gently release the stretch. Uncross legs, lift them to sky, point the toes. Hold the back of your left leg with both hands. And once you have good grip behind, press the leg firmly into those hands. Take an inhale. Now on your exhale, gently draw the left leg in closer as the right leg begins to lower downward. It might be different on this side than the other. Then draw the legs back together again. Inhale. Again, exhale. It's not so important that the right leg gets close to the ground. It's way more important that that left leg stays straight and strong. Go ahead, pull them together again. Breathing in. Let's do 2 more. Gently draw the left leg in as the right leg takes its way down towards the earth. Bring them back together again. Breathe in. This time on your exhale, we're going to hold the stretch. So either that right leg coming all the way to the floor, anchor down with a flexed foot, or bending the knee and grounding your foot instead. Left leg is long and strong. You're breathing into the backside of the leg, hamstring. Adding to it, let's flex the foot, heel to sky. And then point your toes. Again, heel to sky and point. And we'll do that once more, flexed foot. Good, pointed toes, but keeping the toes pointed. Release hands, arms alongside, the leg pulls out in front of you just a little bit. And again, right leg can be fully extended or the knee can bend and foot can ground down. Inhale, that left leg begins to lower downward. Exhale, core strength to pull the leg up. So we're not going to worry about swinging the leg up or using momentum, muscle strength instead. Again, coming downward with resistance. Exhale, navel draws to spine. It helps to pull the leg back upright. Once more, coming down, feel the resistance, but also feel the length forward. Big breath out, slow stack up. And then bend your knee and take your foot to the floor. If your right leg were still lengthened, go ahead, do the same on that side as well. Knees and feet back to hip width apart. Let's go ahead and take the arms next and stack them above the shoulders. Make sure that the palms are faced forward, the hands are shoulder width apart, and everything is lined up. So the wrists aren't bent back nor forward, right? The hands aren't flopping. Everything is in a long line of energy. Backs of shoulders root to the ground. Take an inhale. Exhale, peel up head, neck, and shoulders. Belly strong, eyes to navel, then arms pull down to hover. Inhale, release to the floor again. Again, exhale. Release down, inhale. We'll do 4 more. 4. Inhale, take it down, nice and controlled. 3 more. Remember not to swing the arms down there. Secondary movement, it's smooth, but follows. Return down, breathe in, restack the arms. 2 more times. Good, release, breathing in. 1 more time, belly strong, pull up, stay here. Right knee to chest, left knee to chest, inhale. Extend both legs away from body, exhale. Draw the knees back to forehead on an inhale. If your neck is straining, you can take the head back to the floor, yeah? Exhale, extension of the legs. Draw in, shoulders pull away from ears, arms stiff like a board. 2 more. Inhale, pulling in. Once more. Keep the legs extended. Pump the arms. Breathe. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. We're only going to 50. 20, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Good. Here's 30. Exhale. Good. 40, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Last 10. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 100. Slowly pull the knees in. Head returns down. Hands to knees. Rock. Recover. Beautiful. Okay. I'm going to work with some single leg V-ups next. We have done this a couple of times in class, but they are fairly recent that I've implemented in. So just be very mindful. Honestly, your whole body should be engaged. You're stiffening up, you're engaging all of the muscles from your tiptoes to the crown of your head and fingertips. All of that is really going to help keep the parts that should be anchored. And it will also help the parts that should be moving and lifting to be able to do that such said thing. Okay, so we're going to lengthen the legs all the way down to the floor. I know my arms or my hands and my feet are going to get cut off here. So my legs are extended, my legs are squeezed together tight, and my toes are firmly pointed. Nothing like halfway. Everything's going to be full on. Once you feel the full on, you're going to notice then with the pointed toes, now my quad muscles have fired up. My shins and calves are engaged. I can squeeze my glutes here if I'd like as well to activate the back side of my lower half. Then arms are going to stretch overhead. Fingers, always spread them out or pinch them tight together, but never just hanging out. Hanging out means everything is relaxed, and then that kind of does a domino effect to our body, which we want to avoid. So arms overhead, spread out fingers, or again, squeezed tight fingers. The ribs like to pop up, so we seal in, we imprint spine. Now we're going to imagine that we're divided in half with our body from upper to lower half right at the hips. Your upper half of the body is going to move each and every time. The lower half of your body is going to alternate each and every time between right leg, then left leg. The upper part of your body and the lower part of your body, we want them to be able to, number 1, lift simultaneously, meaning at the same time, of course. And then 2, to move and lift equally. So my leg won't be coming up higher than my upper body, nor vice versa. Try to make that as even, Steven, as possible. All right, let's go ahead and do the single leg V-ups. Upper body every time. We'll start with the right leg and alternate from there. Take an inhale. Divided at hips. Lift right leg and upper body equally. Let the arms pull forward to reach towards that foot. So my leg is not super high. It's not super low and my chest is up high. Right here at V. And then come back down. Breathe in, stretch arms overhead. Now your left leg lifting up. Arms drawing forward, heart lifting to reach to the foot. And then take it back down. Breathe in. We continue to alternate. Right side again. Good. Come back down. Imagine there's a string at your heart pulling you straight up to the sky. Coming up. Even looking towards the ceiling will help with that as well. Inhale, coming down. Let's do 2 more to each. Right side. Good. Come down with control. Left side. Inhale, return down. 1 more each. Good. Inhale, come down. Those toes still pointing through them. Left side. Beautiful. And come down nice and slow. Once you have, arms stay overhead. Now we flex the feet. Push out through the heels. Also, roll your thighs in so the inner edges of your feet come into parallel. Now we'll go to roll-ups. Inhale, start lifting just your upper body, arms, head, shoulders. Legs anchor down as the rest of you lifts up tall. Stack your spine, hinge from hips, fold forward. Your head is heavy through your arms. Your shoulder blades pull down your backside. Your arms are elevated parallel to thighs, and you're still pushing out through your heels. Stack tall, breathe in. Tuck your tailbone, scoop out the belly, round your spine. Energy through the heels of your feet as you return slowly to the ground. Control to the end. Never let the legs relax. We start over. Inhale, begin pulling up. Lift all the way to seated slower than you'd like to really force the muscles to take over rather, again, than momentum. Hinge. This is a very deep and juicy stretch, so take your time to ease into it and hold that space for just a moment. Feel. Good. Stack back up again, breathing in. Make sure that you continue to always look straight ahead while you're coming down so that the chin doesn't dive to chest. Beautiful. Let's do a couple more. Try to keep the arms framing your ears now as you come up. How long can that exhale continue to release? Yeah. Inhale, coming up. So we control everything down to how much air is releasing when we breathe out. Great. More pursed lips, slower, steadier stream of air so it lasts longer. Let's do 1 more here. Inhale, start it. Stack tall, breathe in. We're going to stay seated this time. Exhale, we're just going to lower the arms directly down beside us. And then tent the fingers from here, just barely in front of the hip here. And then take a step out with each hand. So the arms are about 45 degrees. Then we push off those fingertips, lift up our chest, pull our shoulder blades down the back and the belly in and up. What we're going to do next, I'm going to scooch back so you can see my legs a little bit better. This is a super small movement, but very fiery. So we are going to be moving our legs, lifting them off the earth while trying to maintain this upright posture as best we can. It is going to be super, super tempting to lean back in order to get that leg to lift off the ground. Rather, I would like you to instead focus on the posture, and then if the leg can't come off the floor completely, that's fine. That is totally fine. Posture over lift. Here we go. Flexed feet. Take an inhale, core strong. Exhale, right leg comes up. And then lower again on an inhale. You're going to feel it right away. Top of the thigh, right into the flexors. Exhale, left leg. You're also going to have to really engage the core to help with that subtle lift of leg. Right side again, lift. Take it down on an inhale. So if your core is not pulling in deep, it's really going to yank on your flexors. We want to avoid it. Yes, they will be engaged, but there's a fine line between engagement and tension. Yes. Exhale the left leg. Good. Take it down. This time, right leg is going to lift. Keep it lifted, point your toes. Draw circles with the leg. Breathe steadily. 3, 2, 1. Pause, reverse. Keep pushing out through your left heel. Press that leg down. Lift your heart high. 3, good. 2, 1. Beautiful. Let the leg come down. Ooh, bend the knee, grab onto the shin, and hug the leg into your body. These don't require much. That's why we didn't do many of them, but it is a nice way to strengthen the fronts of our legs. We don't often get to those, yeah? All right, go ahead and let that right leg stretch all the way back out. We will also be able to get into a quad stretch later too, which will be really nice. All right, tented fingers, chest up, shoulder blades down, belly in. Left leg, lift it, point the toes, and then draw circles. Push out through your right heel. Breathe steadily, core engaged. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Pause, reverse, breath. 3, posture. 2, subtle movement. Good. 1. Ooh, let the leg come down. Wowza, guys, that takes a lot. Give yourself a hug to let it release. And there you have it, quad strengthening. All right, let's go ahead, stretch that leg back out. I want to take a quarter turn to face the camera. You can stay as you are. We're just going to get into some rotational movement. It's for posture. It's for waistline strengthening, your obliques, but it's also for stabilization. So really focusing on the control of your pelvis. Yeah. So we're going to do our spinal twists today with our arms in a genie position. So forearms stacked one on top of the other, directly out in front of you, not above shoulder height, not below shoulder height, right at it. So once the arms are right at height, then I want you to lift your chest up, drop your shoulder blades down. Notice how I grew taller, like I'm peeking over my arms, but my shoulders drop all the way down away from my ears. Now from here on out, where your arms are located, right, they're directly in the center of your chest. That never changes. We're not leading with our arms, we're leading with our torso. Take an inhale, get taller out through the crown of your head. Flex your feet, squeeze your legs. Twist to your right when you breathe out. Again, don't let the arms continue to pull you over. Center when you inhale. So you want these twists to be bigger than what they actually are, but in reality, if you keep them smaller, you generally tend to work a little bit harder. Come back through center. Eyes should stay at the horizon. Pelvic control, so when we twist, if your legs begin to shift, one kind of juts more forward than the other with your feet, come back through center. That's an indication then your pelvis has shifted also. So we keep the sits bones grounded, the hip head square to the front of the room. To help with that, let's do 2 more to each. Back over to the right, feel this within the waist, like you're wringing out a wet towel. Inhale to center. Exhale, make sure the shoulders pull down and the chest stays up. Posture is key. Center, breathe in. Let's do 1 more each, guys. Twist it out. Squeeze out that breath till every last drop is gone. Inhale, center. 1 more time. Good, come back through center. Now let's stay centered. Let's open the arms out to T, spread the fingers wide, reach from wall to wall. Hug between the shoulder blades, draw them down your backside and begin to create circles with your arms. You're gonna feel those shoulder blades actively try to pull towards each other the entire time you're moving your arms. Chest is up, belly is in to provide stability. 3, isolate it. 2, 1, pause, reverse the direction, breath in, breath out. 5, good, sit nice and upright. 4, 3, keep the energy through fingers. 2, 1, good, inhale, sweep the arms to the sky and frame your ears. Exhale, release your feet, melt over your legs, let your head relax and also your arms relax. Take a big breath into your back body and then a long breath out. Let's do that again. Breath in big. And then on the exhale, begin to slowly restack your body, coming up to tall seated. Beautiful. Let's flex the feet again. While you're doing that, I'm going to take a quarter turn back, facing my front. And that way you can also see me better for the next few movements. So legs are still extended forward. We're sitting nice and upright. Let's take the arms, also extend them out in front of us. Palms face in, but hands are a little bit wider than shoulders. Because if we start to narrow the hands, then our chest closes off. So we keep everything nice and opened. Remember, heart up and shoulders. Beautiful, down, take an inhale. Exhale, let's tuck the tailbone under. Round the spine and roll back a notch. Hold, inhale. Good, exhale, tuck under a bit more deeply. Roll back a little bit further and hold. Push through heels, anchor those legs, inhale. Come back a little bit further. Small, tiny increments. So ideally, we're working our core the entire time, right? Our core is active to support the shape of our body in this space as we make our way to the earth. Come back a little bit further. Remember, shoulders down, chest opened and lifted. Come back a little bit further. Push through heels, anchor legs, check back in. They love to give way. Come back a little bit further. Firing up your breath. Big breaths in, long breaths out. Good. Come back a little bit further. You might be a little shaky. That's okay. Come back a little bit further. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Hold, hold, hold. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then very gently come down to the floor. Arms close beside you. Once you've come down, bend your knees and ground your feet. Knees and feet are still just hip width. Feet are still run parallel, so all 10 toes are pointed forward. Your feet, if they are too far in front of you, this is going to be really difficult to do. They're just going to start to slide even further forward, making it hard for you to stay grounded. If your heels are super close into your butt, this next move is going to put a ton of pressure on your knees, which is not good over time. So, sweet spot. Generally speaking, the heels are just slightly behind your knees. Toes are a little bit in front of the knees. That's like kind of like the arches of your feet are directly underneath. Arms close in, pressed down. We're activating the arms here. The triceps are going to be working. Take an inhale. Exhale, peel off the mat, articulate the spine as you press the hips towards bridge. As the hips come up, I don't want the ribs to follow. Seal the ribs down to activate your core. And then roll back to the mat again. Breathe in, rounding down. Again, exhale as you're lifting up. Also imagine you had a little ball between your knees. You were squeezing lightly to prevent the knees from winging out. And it's also going to engage your inner thighs, your adductors. Then go ahead and roll back down on an inhale. We're going to do 4 more of these. 4. And release. So always feeling your shoulder blades still grounded throughout. Exhale. Hips come up, glutes squeeze, inner thighs are active, arms press down, belly is firm. Roll down on an inhale. Let's do a couple more here. Exhale, lifting. Rounding, coming back down. Once more here, exhale. Wearing a hoodie on your back. Sometimes it gets uncomfortable. Okay, so here we are in bridge. Let's stay here. On an inhale, take both of your arms, lift them off the ground, reach them to the sky, and then overhead behind you. Then on your exhales, the arms lift back up and come back down to the ground. Feel the hips do the opposite, the energy of your hip heads pressing to the sky. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, as the arms lift and lower, the hips like to follow. Let's not do that. Once more, inhale, arms overhead. Keep everything else level and still. Exhale, arms reach high. They press back down to the floor, but the hips lift higher to the ceiling. And then round your spine, and roll back down. A lot of quad, a lot of glute and hamstring. So draw the knees in, give yourself a hug, and gently rock side to side. So we're just starting to fire up our legs. What I'd like us to get into next is some side leg work. So what I'd like is for us to roll on to our right side next. So starting in a straight line, we will begin though with a stretch before we get into any more work. So quad stretch. Once you're stacked up and lined up, I want you to take your left heel, pull it in towards your glute, and left hand is going to catch hold of either foot, ankle, or pant leg. Once you have hold, I want you to hug that left leg down towards your right leg. Once that's active, pull the knee back and push the hip forward equally and at the same time. If one does more than the other, we lose our stretch. Equal energy, push and pull. And sometimes it's helpful to squeeze your glutes to feel that hip pushing in front of you. Flexing the foot also can intensify the stretch. Breathe deep. Good, let's do one more breath in here. And then very gently let the stretch release. Line that left leg back up with your right. And then take your left hand to your hip. Point the elbow straight north so everything is stacked nice. Propping your head up with your right hand like I have here does help a bit with balance and support, but if you're finding it bothers your neck or shoulder, you can rest all the way on to that right arm. You might just be a little bit more wobbly, which is fine because then you get to work your core more for balance. Yeah. So anyway, all right. The entire right side of your body, it's not just hanging out, lying down, it's working also. Press into the floor. Hover your left leg and internally rotate it just subtly so that we're firing up the abductor, not the quad. When you exhale, lift the leg up slow, push out through the heel of your foot. Hover the leg when you breathe in. Again, exhale, firm up the belly. Hover the leg on an inhale. 4 more. 4. And hover. Beautiful. 3 more. Lift. Good. And then hover. We'll do that 2 more times. Lift. Good. And hover. 1 more time, guys. Here we go. Slowly pull the leg up. Keep that internal rotation. And then take the leg down just about half of the way. The legs themselves are about shoulder width distance apart. Your core has to take over a lot more with these. We're only going to do 4. Take your time. Be mindful of your top shoulder, the top elbow, the top hip. All stay nice and lined. On an inhale, take your left knee, bend it. Start to pull that knee in towards your chest. Let the foot come out in front. And then push it out again. Exhale. So remember, right side body is working for you here, especially in this one. Let's bend the knee. When the knee pulls in, keep that knee level with your hip, not above nor below. Don't let it sink. And then push it out. Exhale. 2 more. Yeah. So breathe in. It's super tempting for the shoulder, elbow, and hip to fall back. So make sure they stay stacked. Push it out. Last one here, guys. Draw the knee in nice and slow. Take your time. Feel your underside working hard for you. Push it out on the exhale. And then let the leg gently come down for a brief moment. Beautiful. What I would like us to do next is combine those 2 movements, the lifting and lowering, the drawing in and out of the knee, right? Press in, press out. We'll do a handful of these. The first couple, I'll do it at a slow pace just so that you get the rhythm of movement down. When we start to pick up to pace, you'll need to do is then limit the range of motion. So the leg lifting won't be nearly as high, nor will the knee pulling in as close to the chest as you had once before. The reason we have to get smaller is because the movement is quick. If the movement is too quick, we lose control. Smaller movements, better control. Yes, here we go. So start with that left leg hovered again with a foot flexed. Again, we'll do a couple slow pace for rhythm, then we'll go 2 pace with smaller range of motion. So it looks as such. We're going to lift the leg up, then we're going to lower it. We're going to draw the knee in, and then we're going to press it out. So think of it in 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So to pace, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. So notice my lift is much smaller and my knee does not pull in nearly as much, right? Up, down, in. It's about isolation. More you can control this, the more muscles you're going to work. 4 more. 4. Knee in, 3 more, up. Good. Everything else like a statue. 2 more, up. In. 1 more, lift, lower knee. In, press out. Good. Let the leg come down gently. Take the knee to the ground in front of you. Tap out your hip. Right, so that last one, we were working all of our body. Our core had to be in super tight. Again, your entire bottom side that's grounded is working hard, pushing down to support you. All right, let's go ahead and move into that inner thigh of our bottom leg. So left foot, let's step it behind that right leg. Let's angle that right leg out in front of us a little bit more. Take our hand back to our hip, elbow back to the sky. We're going to hover that right leg, flex the foot, and externally rotate this one. So the inner edge of heel points to the sky. When you exhale, use your inner thigh and lower core strength to lift the leg up higher. Lead with heel, kiss it up, and then hover on an inhale. Again, kiss the sky with your heel, and then hover the leg when you breathe in. We're doing 4 more of these. 4, and then hover. Good, 3 more. Hover, we got 2 more left to go, guys. Lift, squeeze it out. Good, take it to hover once more. Lift the leg, but hold it there. Now imagine you had a marker on the heel of your foot. Draw circles with that marker. Keep that leg stiff like a board. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Reverse. Inhale, exhale. That left foot is really pressing down into the floor. 3, 2, 1. Let's pause. Let's pulse it up. Always remember, emphasizing lift of movement, never the dropping of, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Slowly take that leg down to the ground. Once you have, go ahead and press yourself up to seated nice and gently. Swing the legs around and let's transition to our other side. Checking the time to see what we got going. Perfect. All right. So on your left side this time, stacked up, lined up, hand to hip, elbow due north. Flex your feet. Bottom leg is your anchor, top leg is your hover. Internal rotation. Also make sure your neck is lined up with your spine. Super tempting to look down, which is fine. You know, it's nice because then we can really see that we're aligned here and adjust if we need to. But once you have that like kind of internal feeling of how the leg is positioned, then focus on the length of spine. Here we go. Exhale, lift that leg up, nice and slow. Hover the leg when you inhale. Again, belly strong, good. Hover the leg, we're doing 4 more here. 4, and then hover. Make sure, it's super tempting for that leg to roll open. Keep rolling it subtly inward, which means then the leg won't lift up as high as you'd like it to. But again, we're really homing in on the hip rather than the quad. Hover. 1 more time. Slow pull up. Take the leg down to a halfway point. Remember, 4 of these. Slow it down. Find your control. Shoulder, elbow, hip, triangle stays exactly there. Bend the knee, slowly pull the knee towards your body. Now feel your left side press, 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 press down into the ground. And then push out through the right heel as you straighten the leg out again. Back out to the side. Again, pull the leg in slowly. Knee stays level with hip and core is super tight right now. Push it away. Twice more. Draw the knee in. Drive it all the way back out. Once more, just that right leg has movement, everything else, statue. Exhale, push it away. Once it's lengthened out, that right leg, go ahead and gently let it come down for just a brief moment to rest. So again, we're going to combine the 2. We're just going to do the first 2 at a slower pace because, you know, sometimes it takes a moment to get our pattern built up again. Then, remembering, take down the range of motion, build up the control. Here we go. Hovered leg. 2 slow ones to begin for a count. Up, down, in, out. Again, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now smaller and quicker. Here we go. Lift, lower, knee in, drive out. Good. Up, down, in. We can still keep that same control we once had at a slower pace, right? Up, down, in. 4 more. 4. Knee in. Good. 3 more. Lift. Hip is working the whole time. 2 more. Up, down, in. Last one here, guys. Lift, lower, knee in, drive out. Ooh, let that leg come down. Bend the knee to the floor in front of you. Tap out the hip. All right, guys. So we transition next into the bottom leg. So right foot steps behind it. Then that bottom leg angles out a little bit further. Hand to hip, elbow to sky. Flexed foot, hovered leg, external rotation of. When you breathe out, use your inner thigh strength, pull that leg up. And then take it to hover. Never lose your flex. Exhale, lead with the inner edge of your heel. And then hover. Your pelvic floor and lower abs are also working. 4 more. 4, squeeze it out. Pelvic floor pulls in and up. Hover the leg, breathe in. 3 more. Check your elbow and adjust if you need to, yeah? Hover, breathe it in. 2 more times. Hover. Once more, guys. Plant that right foot into the floor as that left leg lifts. Keep it there. Marker on heel. Circles. Keep that leg moving as one solid unit. Breathe. 3. Good. 2. Steady now. 1. Pause, reverse the direction. Inhale, exhale, 5. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause and then pulse. Baby lifts, never dropping. Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2. Push through heel. 1. Good. Take the leg down nice and slowly. Once you have, gently roll onto your back. Getting a stretch for inner thighs. Draw your knees to your chest. Soles of feet come together. Grab feet or ankles. Start to gently pull the feet in close to body while pushing the knees away from body and dropping your tailbone back down to floor. All of these energies are equal, right? So we don't lose the pull of our feet. We don't lose the push out of our knees. We don't lose the anchor of the tailbone. Again, if one of those gets lost, we also lose our stretch. Groin, inner thighs. Deep inhales. Deep exhales. Good. Take one more inhale here. When you exhale, just release your left foot. Grab hold of your right foot firm with your hand. Let the left leg stretch out to the floor. Left arm comes out to T. We're going to come into half happy baby on our right side. So you're going to take that foot that generally tends to fall down towards your groin. You're going to take that heel and start to pull it back, back, back. The further back you feel your foot reaching behind you, the more the hip opens up. If you're not able to grab hold of your foot because the foot won't move back, that's fine. Hold your ankle, hold your calf, hook your arm behind your thigh. These are all the same stretch, just different positions. And then wherever you're holding on that right leg, I want you to pull down gently, right, to draw that knee closer to the floor, which again will open the hip just a little bit more. Good. And then what I'd like you to do from here is start to draw that heel down towards its glute. Then release the stretch. Take your right arm out to T, take your left hand to the outside of that right leg, and then cross the leg over body. Look over your right shoulder. This is, yes, a spinal twist, but also you can start to feel just a little bit of a stretch to that outer hip as well, which is nice after doing side leg work. Wonderful. One more inhale. Unravel to center. Exhale, use that core, and then let that right leg stretch all the way out. Keep that right arm out to a T, right? It's already there for us. Left knee draws in, If you can catch hold of the outer edge of the foot right now, then the knee opens up wide, the heel's really close towards the groin. All you need to do is begin to actively pull the foot back. So the sole of the foot lifts up to the sky. Again, you may have to grab ankle, calf, or hook arm behind thigh to achieve this. That is okay. And then once you have a nice hold, gently pulling down, which will draw the knee closer to the floor, which will open a bit more into hip. You might start to feel a little stretch in that groin still here as well. Breathe deep. Good, one more inhale. When you exhale, slowly pull that heel back down towards its glute so that the stretch can gently release. Left arm out to T, right hand to the outside of that left leg so that you can continue to cross it to your right side. Looking over left shoulder, again, a spinal twist, but also just a little stretch to the left outer hip. Good, let's take one more breath in here. Firm up that belly, unwind slowly on the exhale, come back to center, and once you have, keep the left knee into your chest, draw your right knee in to meet it. Both hands on either knee, imprint your spine to the floor, elongate through the back of your head there, the crown, and then if you're wanting more heat, peeling up the head, the neck, the shoulders with eyes to navel. Breathing in now, extend both legs away from body as arms reach behind you. Exhale, sweep the arms around and draw the knees back in, back to a ball. Inhale, expand out and contract. Exhale, pull everything back in. 4 more of these. 4. 3 more. 2 more. Getting into the core, using your spine as a rooted object. 1 more time. Good. Exhale, pull it all in. If your head was up, gently release it down. Rock side to side. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Good. Come back into stillness. Lift both legs to sky, pointed toes. Hold behind your right leg as the left leg starts to lower away from you. Again, the head can stay at the floor or lift up for more heat. Pulse the right leg in when you inhale. Twice. Switch the legs. Exhale. Pulsing your left leg in twice. Breathe it in. Switch the legs with control. Exhale. Single straight leg. Stretching your hamstrings. Working your core. Upper body is a statue. If head is up, eyes to navel. If neck is strained, head comes back to the ground so you can redirect focus back to your core. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let the legs meet together at sky. Knees to chest, hands on knees, head down to the ground. Rock side to side. Take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Good. Let's come back into stillness. Interlace your fingers. Take your hands behind your head. Arms are opened wide. Now, you can keep your head still on the floor, or it can come up if you'd like some more. Either way, the left leg is going to extend out. Inhale. Then exhale, switch the legs. 1 breath, 1 movement. Inhale. And then exhale. Legs are like pistons, straight out and in. Reach out through the toes, find a lot of length. Spine again is rooted down for support. Core is also here for support and stabilization. Breath in. Breath out. 4 more. 4. 3 more. In. Switch. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Breath in. Breath out, then both knees to body, head to the ground, hands on knees. Inhale and exhale. So we're going through the advice series really briefly here, not in order. Obviously, that was this one we just did was usually the first of the 5 rather than the third. but sometimes it's nice to mix it up. So let's go ahead and work our waistline next. Feet to the floor, knees bent, knees and feet hip width apart, hands back behind the head. And then some options for this. You can start with head grounded and return to center, taking the head to the floor. Or you can start with head lifted, then try to maintain that leveled position throughout the exercise. Take an inhale. Work in the waistline, twist to your right, just with lifted part of body. And then center on an inhale. Exhale, take it over to the left. Legs don't follow, they stay centered and steady. So if you were modify, you start with head grounded, you'll lift and take a twist to the right. You'll return the head back to the floor when you breathe in. Then you'll lift and twist to the left. And then come back through center. If you want more heat, legs to tabletop, squeeze them tight, don't let them move. Good, breath in. 2 more to each. One more each. And then release and recover, rest. All right, we got one more left from our ab series. It's our, what is it? Oh, double straight leg. I forgot which one I did not do yet. Double straight leg. It's a strengthener for the lower abdominals. So because of that area being kind of really hard and tricky to strengthen, the movement doesn't have to be big because you'll kind of feel it right away. So just be mindful of that, and really also mindful of keeping it the most out of the hip flexors that you can. And really, and I know I've mentioned this before, so sometimes this can help people. It definitely helps me. Visualize the area of your body that you're trying to strengthen as a bright color, whether that's bright red, bright purple, something that pops. Sometimes with a visual focus, that can also really help that physical focus to pull in even deeper. So anyway, last set here for your ab series. Legs to sky, but make sure they're not in too far. Your butt's dropped in and your thighs are pressed away. You can have a little bend in your knees if you need, or you can also do this in tabletop. Same movement, just different leg structure. Arms can be close down, pressed in, or out to T, pressed in, support. Inhale next, both legs lowering downward, maybe a third of the way at best. Bright color, visualize to the lower core, pull up slow. Slow, slow, slow. Legs are along for the ride. Make sure they do not pull in too closely. Lowering on an inhale. Bright red, bright purple, bright green. Pull it up in that area. Let's do just 4 more of these. Lower with resistance. Remember that current of water, we're working against it. Exhale. That's the feeling you want to have within your body. Again, 3 more. Inhale, coming down. Feel that belly pull down deep and lift the legs slow. Let's do 2 more. Last time, guys. Inhale, legs coming down. Exhale, legs slowly pulling up. Good, then draw the knees to your chest. Place your hands on your knees. Let's take some thigh stirs here. Circling the legs out and back in. It does massage the hip flexors while working on the hip mobility as well. Excuse me. All right, when the legs come together again, let's keep them there. Let's now rock ourselves forward and back, up and down the spine until we rock up to seated. Once we've come up to seated, let's flip around onto our stomach side. Let's get some back body strengthening here. So all the way down on our stomachs. Arms stretched out in front, legs, of course, stretched behind. Hands are shoulder width, feet are shoulder width. Your pelvic triangle is your anchor, your hip bones, your pubic bone. Forehead will rest to the ground so that your arms frame your ears. My head is lifted here because I want you to hear me. So if my head is and my face is in the carpet, I'm not really able to project my voice. So don't mind me with head up. Your head is grounded and lined up nice. Let's take an inhale. When you exhale, lift everything off the ground slowly. Arms, head, heart, legs. The whole back body is active. Then take it down, floating to the floor. Inhale.
Exhale your arms, your head, your chest, find lift. Reach forward with your fingertips, point your toes and lengthen them back behind you. Come down, slow on inhale. Let's do 4 more. 4. Release. 3 more. Keep looking at the floor, right? So never let the chin press forward. 2 more times. Float it down. 1 more time, guys. Here we go. Lift it, but hold the lift. Stiffen up your extremities and begin to swim them out. Paddle, paddle, paddle. Keep your head and torso steady, your chest lifted, and the arms and legs strong. 5, good. 4, keep on paddling. 3, sharks in water. 2, 1, good. Rest down. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders, hug your arms into your sides, and squeeze your legs together. Very slowly, very gently, press back into a child's pose. Ease into this one. It's a counter stretch. So we had come from a back bended position a little bit with that swimming exercise. And now we're doing the opposite. So we're flexing and extending our spine. So we want to be safe when we get into that. In your child's pose here, take your right arm, thread it underneath your left arm, and then look to the left. Stretching into the back of that shoulder. Good, let that unravel, come around the center, then left arm threads through, looking to the right, resting your chest weight onto that arm. Good, 1 more breath in here. Let it unravel, come back to center. Once you're here, walk the hands towards your knees so that you start to sit upright. Once you have, coming to a cross-legged position at the center in the front of your workspace, grounding your sits bones, lifting your heart up nice and high. Scooch back a little bit, perfect. Arms down beside with palms facing up. As you breathe in, let the arms reach out. Let them lift up high. Let the hands touch above your head. And then on your exhale, pull your hands down to your heart center. We'll do that a couple more times. Breathing in, sweeping out and up, touching the hands above, and then bringing them within heart space. Once more. Inhale, maybe your eyes follow your hands up to the sky. Watch them as they connect. Follow them down to your heart. Keep the hands here. Bring your chin to your chest, but keep your shoulder heads back. Bow to yourself. This moment to thank yourself for the work you've done, that you brought to your mat, that you are dedicated, mindful, and present within your practice, and that you always and consistently keep your body moving. Thank you guys very much. Another wonderful recorded class. I hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy your weekend, and I look forward to seeing everyone next week. Have a great class, guys. I'll see you soon. Take care.